I wanted to bring up this topic here because this is actually something that I learned in one of the talks that Unity gave this week. So this was specifically in the Dots baking talk. We'll talk a little bit about kind of some of the main talks in the next kind of section of the show. But let me see if I can actually just share the screen here. And so it's this one here, but I will need to bring my Unity over to that screen. So we have this, and I'll get Ryder over there as well. Okay. So what I wanted to showcase is actually this thing here called auto authoring. So this is actually part of the ECS samples. So one thing that was kind of in like an earlier version of ECS is the like generate, what was it, the automatic generate authoring component?
Yes.
Yeah. Where basically if you had a data component that you could just add this attribute to it, and it would create an authoring component that you could, add on to a game object, and when it gets converted to an entity, it just automatically converts over those fields. Now that actually no longer exists, but in the Unity ECS samples directory there is something specifically called this auto authoring. And this auto authoring, this is a class here where basically they're just kind of, kind of gives you this whole structure. I can just kind of, scroll through it. We don't need to, go too deep into how everything works here in this video. But I will show you basically how it works is if you just have some regular iComponent data, you can have some test data where you can have, like a float field, bool field, entity field, anything just standard like this. Well, you can now just create a authoring component. So I've just called it this test authoring, and then you inherit from auto authoring, and then you pass in the type of this test data. And again, this test data is this actual iComponent data here that we're getting. So now, if we switch over to Unity, you see that I'm just on my player right here. And then we see that this, I've just added this test authoring on here, and then it automatically has all those fields from the data component. So now we can, set the value, we can check the box, we can add an entity if we want to. So yeah, it's kind of brings back some of that generate authoring component features in kind of this modern version. Again, this is available in the ECS samples repository, and I have also just posted the code up in the Hot Path Show cache hits repository as well. So that is available for us. Danny, is this something that you were aware of / familiar with, and something that you use at all?
I have never used it, but I am aware of it because I made it.
Nice. And Philip, how about yourself?
I wasn't aware of it, or I was aware of it internally, but I didn't know it ended up in the samples. So that's good.
Yep. So yeah, this is actually just a little thing that I picked up on during the Dots baking talk here. But yeah, so that's kind of the cache hit. So yeah, go ahead and check that out in the samples repository. And then yeah, you can just there's like a lib folder that you can just bring into your project. And again, I was able to do this in this little sample project just super easily. So yeah, I think it's a handy thing that can save you a couple keystrokes. So yeah, check it out.